Hello and welcome. I am Ollie Juno and this is my crafty corner. Today is a stitch with me. I was thinking about doing a live for the new start, but unfortunately I didn't get started early enough, so I already know people who are live, so I didn't want to stream the same time they were. So I figured I'd just go ahead and do my live. Today is a new start. Let's start over. I totally screwed this up, of course. This is a stitch with me. This is stitch with me number 45, I believe. Today is a new start. We are starting in Long Dog Sampler. It is May the 15th. It is 11 a.m. in the morning. And it's already 75 degrees outside and getting hotter. So I'm in a little top skirt trying to stay cool. So hopefully. And I had to close the curtain down and the windows closed, so and the fan is outside the door because otherwise it is too noisy and all you hear is the roaring of the fan. So I've got it out the doorway blowing in at me. We don't have my son on the computer yet because he decided to stay up. I think I saw him awake at like almost 3 this morning. He was playing a game with a friend, lost track of time, so I'm going to let him sleep until my video is done, and because it'll be about noon, and there we go. So we'll get to do the video without all the background noise. I know it's kind of loud for some people and I apologize. I'll see if there's a setting on my microphone that I can kind of drown out more of the noise behind me, but since he's actually facing the microphone, I'm not sure I'd be able to. But he shouldn't get too loud, and I'll see if I can get him to play, like maybe just watch videos instead of play the game that he's been playing, or maybe a different game. Okay, so let us go ahead. Let us go ahead and get started here. I had talked about gridding this with the white pen or white pencil. As you can see, it doesn't work very well. So I ended up getting my metallic stitching thread and proceeding to grid. I'm gridding it a little different than I have before to see if I like this way. I did not grid the whole project. I still have quite a bit more gridding to do. I'm just gridding this section because this is like what I'm going to be working on, and since I already got a couple of rows here done, plus I'm going to see if I can work with just the side grids, because I just kind of need a guideline. So I'm not sure that I need the full square. I'm thinking, you know, because I'll know the top of this one, you know, it's like, okay, so I'll know that, like, here's my top, here's my bottom of my 10, and that's my bottom of my 10. So I should be able to, once I get my rows started, I should be able to pinpoint where I need to go with my stitching. But like we will see. I can always finish gridding out everything as I go. I am stitching on 28 count Joblin black. So this is my first time stitching on black. I have stitched on a lighter color, a darker color before. It was a blue. It was called Mystical from 123 Stitch, but I saw the black. I really wanted to try black. I was going to do a different pattern, but fortunately I really wanted to get started on this project, and the silk that I ordered is still pending. And I decided I'm gonna go ahead and start this because I think the black with white will be a great contrast. And when I get my silk thread in, I'll probably just buy another sampler and stitch with it. Because I really am enjoying having the samplers to fall back on after stitching all my full coverage projects. So I am going to use just white, blanc, white, and I'm stitching 1/1 full cross on 28 count. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I have already found my start point. So I am doing this. I am going to start with the loop start here. I am stitching 1/1 because that is my preferred method. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to go through here, pull this to where you can barely see it. I'm going to go back down, and then I want to come back up, and I'm already through the, oh, I just pulled it all out. It got caught on my thing over here. So let's try that again. Alright, so go here. And I believe I was here. I'm going to double check myself. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So just to make sure I'm in the right. Oh no, wait. I'm doing wrong. It is 1, 2, 3. There. Then 1, 2, 3 here. There we go. It's in the 4th hole. It's 3 away. So we're going to pull there. And we're going to go down. And then up. Now I have a nice little loop because I went down the hole that I just came up. And then we're going to do this. And go back down. There we go. And now I'm going to go back up. And now I am solid. It's not going anywhere. All right. So it is time to get started on this. I have my setup so that I can stitch on this. I have my overhead light, and then I also have a light under here, so that I can see the holes. And these are lights I've just recently got, and they have the ability to be brighter or darker. So I can lower the brightness, or I can increase it, and I can change the hue, which I tend to use that one mostly. The bottom one I have more of a blue hint, so it just, to me, I can see the holes just a little better. And I like this setup because it doesn't blind me. But, so let us go ahead and begin here. We are really excited to get started on this one. I haven't done any test stitching on this. Whoops, I just undid my needle. Undid my thread. I haven't done any test stitching on this fabric. I'm pretty sure I'll be okay with the 1/1 on it. Because that's what I normally stitch 28 count on. It's what I stitched. Pandemic is 28 count. I do know I can't stitch full coverage on 28 count 1/1. It's too thick. I don't like it at all. But I do, I can do projects like this because they're not full coverage. I have realized that, you know, my go-to fabric is normally 25 count. I like 25 count 1/1 full cross, and I really do enjoy doing my full crosses. I can do 10 stitch. I have a project that's 10 stitch. I have two that are 10 stitch. One is on 25 count, one is on 32 count. I do enjoy the 32 count, but I don't know, I haven't been able to pick it up recently. But I've also been trying to focus on my kitten and the rose too. Just making sure, yeah, it's the same pattern all the way across. So yeah, I don't know, I've realized, you know, everybody has their sweet spot. You know, some people like 18 count, some people like 28 count. Some people like doing 2/2 on 28 count. But it is kind of, you know, this is going into my second year of stitching, and it's really cool to see where you started off at to where you got to, and it's like, oh, this is my preferred method, and this is my preferred count. And knowing that it changes, you know, like in a few years, you know, next year, I might prefer doing 10 stitch over full cross. There's no telling. I was really happy to be able to buy some extra fabric, so I have a little bit of a stash, so that when I run across things I can, you know, buy. And I have an option to just have to get the threads so I can start it, instead of I gotta get the threads and I gotta get the fabric, and I really can't afford to do that. So I'm happy that I actually have a little bit of a stash that I can get things started if I wanted to. Now, there was a pattern that was released recently that I want so bad, but at the same time I don't, because it's a lot bigger than I like. I don't like doing, I don't know, my Kitten and the Rose is my largest pattern, and it's like 400 by, I don't even remember exactly, but I know that it's, you know, about, give or take, it's about 18 inches wide, and extremely like 30 inches long or something like that. The pattern I was looking at would equal out to be about 27 inches wide and 37 inches long. And I'm like, yeah, it's a new release on Heaven and Earth. I believe it's the Alchemy Gothic or something like that. I don't know. It's a skull with a rose. It's gorgeous. But I've decided I'm going to wait. And I will say that if that has a mini that ever shows up, I'm getting it, because it is just gorgeous. I may still end up getting it. I would just have to buy a scroll frame that it would fit on. Because I have to do scroll frames. I am not very good with Q-snaps or hoops when there's a lot of excess fabric. It bothers me so bad, having all that excess fabric. I like being able to roll it up onto the scroll frame. So yeah, that's about what I've got on that. I actually have a little bit of a list here that I can look at to try to find things, to try to remember and have things to talk about throughout the day. Let's see. Now I've got my scroll frames in. I was really happy to have all my scroll frames. I haven't moved anything over yet. I'm going to move my Dreaming of Being Human back onto a scroll frame. So I'm hoping maybe I'll get some more work done on it because it's currently in a hoop. I believe. Yeah, I think it's in a hoop. Alright, let's see. I'm going to continue across. I know this month I've been focusing 90% of the time on my kitten in the rows, but I think unfortunately I'm going to have to put it to the side because I'm just not able to, like, I'm done stitching it at the moment, even though I really wanted to get that page finished. So I'm just going to put it to the side, and I'm going to pull some of my other projects out. This one I will probably, you know, I don't have any time frame on when I'm going to work on anything. I'll probably focus on this most of the day. And then, because we are going over to game night, I'm getting confused on where my hole's at. My hand's blocking my light. We are going over to game night here in a little while. I'm not sure I'm going to take this one because I have to have the correct setup so I can see the holes. So this one will probably just be one that I work on right here at my desk for now. I did start a new project last night. If anybody is part of my Instagram, they saw the new start. Kaylee Crossstitch sent me, like, I signed up for trying tiny stitching. This is my attempt at a start. Whoops. It's so tiny. That's gonna be an ear. Oh, I got something on my fingernails. That's the start of crapola. There we go. That's a start of a cat ear. That's a, how many stitches was that? That's like 30 stitches? Doesn't seem like it. So tiny. This is 56 count. It is weird. The hardest thing I think for me is getting my hand in underneath to stitch, because I'm not used to having such a confined area to stitch in, because I stitch big projects. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what that little kitten is going to look like right here. I will say, I won't be doing a whole lot of tiny stitching, but it is cool to be able to stitch on 56 count. But I have to use this magnifying glass so bad. It's like I cannot see the holes otherwise at all. And it's crazy. Oh, I'm also, I forgot to mention, I'm also using my Bohan needles today. Super excited about that. I've been using one on my kitten in the rose, but unfortunately somehow I've mixed up my needles. And I'm not sure which one is the Bohan needle and which one is my DMC needle. So, oh, sorry. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, but I do know I like the Bohan needle. Will probably be more along the lines of the needles that I purchase. Go from there. Let's see. Man, it is so hot today. It is retarded. But, and our AC in the house sucks so bad. Like, we cannot, like during the day, we have to put the temperature to 70. If we try to make it any lower, it ices over. It'll freeze up. We're going to try to get maintenance people to come in and fix it, but we're still in the process of getting everything in order since we rearranged the house. Because, like I said, since we weren't able to move, we decided we were going to fix the house. We were going to rearrange it to our liking. Basically, just change everything up. We have not gotten to get everything finished. Rearranged. The living room is still a mess. I still have to take my work computer and put it downstairs. But there's nowhere to put it at the moment until my middle daughter is able to get all their stuff out of the living room and into their room. But they have been, well, last week was really hectic for them because it was prom night. They had a really great time at prom, but it's like prom week. They were gone more than they were home. Like they get out of, it's like, and then they like as soon as school was over, they were gone because they were out getting supplies and stuff like that. They're out shopping for prom stuff. And then my middle daughter also got basically a second job. Her best friend sister mom used to babysit her kids, but there's an issue, so they needed a new babysitter for Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And so she is now the babysitter for them. So I get up at work at 6:30. I get up for work at 6, and she heads over there. Luckily, they live just across the street, and she heads over there to get them on the bus at 7, and then she rests for a little while, and then one of them gets out of school at 11, and so she stays over there from 11 to around 4, almost 5ish for those 3 days. Yeah. So she's not had, like, normally when she's killing time between classes, she would rearrange and clean and put things to order, but it just hadn't happened. We're not too far from having everything where it needs to be, but we don't want to call maintenance in until we've got the house 100% in order. Even though normally when I call them, it takes them about 2 weeks to get here. I'd rather not take the chance that they're on the ball. So I put my work order in and they show up and I don't have the house in order. That would really embarrass me. I don't even want to take the chance. But I'm trying to give my daughter a chance to put her stuff where she wants to put it and not just throw it all in her room. But I don't even know if maintenance will worry about trying to fix it. We've been here 5 years. We started complaining about the AC the first year we were here because, it wasn't as bad as it is now, but it would still freeze over if we didn't adjust the heat throughout the day, adjust the temperature throughout the day, no matter how hot it is outside. Okay, so once I finish this square, I'm going to go back towards the other side. So, yeah. I will admit, I have a very bad habit of procrastination when it comes to cleaning. I hate cleaning with a passion. I don't even like going to, I know people who like to clean for other people. I don't even like cleaning anybody else's house, even if they're paying me. I hate it. I will say, I agree. I know I am a procrastinator when it comes to cleaning, but I know it has to be done, so I just hate it. But yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get the house put together, and then we'll sit there and get everything together and get the maintenance people out here to take a look at our AC, because like I said, we've been here 5 years. It could very possibly be to the point where it needs a little maintenance. So yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. I'm gonna pull this out just a little. 2, 3, 4. Right. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mark where I'm at. There's that. Alright, so now we are going to go down and do the line all the way back. And that is here. Alright, let's see. The next thing I want to talk about, and if anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to ask in the comments. I will answer any the best way I can. I will try to, if it's something that is hard to explain in text form, I will explain it on my next Stitch with Me. I need to, I want, not necessarily a need. Oh. Hi, baby. Aries, come say hi. She's like, no, I didn't. You just picked me up. Yeah? Yeah? You ready to go? Yeah. She's like, Mom, let me go. Oh, she's attacking a fly in the window. Alright, let's see. Yeah, if you have any questions about anything, ask me in my just make a comment and I will do my best to answer it in text form, and then I may end up also, bringing the subject up on my Stitch with Me so that I can discuss it a little further. Or a little clearer, one of the two. Let's see. The next thing I want to talk about is, I mentioned a few videos back about my son's drawing. Like, he got in trouble because he drew something on his schoolwork when he was agitated. But he's really been getting more into it, like drawing. He actually has an alarm set on his phone to remind him to go sit and draw and get off the computer, which I love. We've got him art books, he's got crayons, he's got markers, and he's getting really good, in my opinion. And my husband's an artist as well, and he agrees. He's doing really well with his art. Have a sample that I like. He brought it home and showed it to me, and I stole it. Well, he left it sitting on the floor, and I decided, hey, that's mine now, because I didn't want it to get destroyed, and I think it's really cool. Oh, shit. Since I have to stop, I'm gonna go ahead and show it. So I have it right here. I'm gonna have it. I'm fixing to pin it up on my wall. It's gotten a little messed up, but that was my fault, not his. My drink splashed water, which ended up messing up the leg. But other than that, this is his drawing. As you can see, the little watermark here is my fault, but everything is like, I love it. My husband thought it was a page out of a coloring book because of the way he colored it. But he drew it, then he traced it, and then he did the coloring, which I love the fact that he's doing shading. For me, I didn't know anything about shading when I was starting to draw and color, which my drawings and coloring looked like crap, but I didn't have no clue about it. And basically, he's just copying like pictures he sees. So if the picture he sees has a shading, he shades it. But he's getting really good at looking at the picture on the computer and putting it down on paper. It's really cool seeing him do that. So yeah, it's really cool watching his skill increase, you know, like, I don't know, I love seeing other people's talents come to life. Like, I like going, what, you know, I always look at anything my husband draws. He always calls me in there so I can look at it. And it just, I don't know, I just really enjoy looking at other people's artwork. I have a good eye for critiquing artwork. Like, I can see where people make errors on it and stuff like that. At least this is what my husband has told me over the years. I can, and that's why he likes to call me in to see his work, so I can like pinpoint if it just doesn't look right. I can't tell you what's wrong with it and what to do to fix it, but I can, you know, I'm pretty good at looking at it going, hey, that just doesn't look right. So yeah, I was really like super ecstatic. Like, I found a way to do crafts through when I found beadwork. So like I could make necklaces and jewelry and stuff like that. But when I got started in cross stitch, that truthfully just made my day, because I don't know, it just is, I feel like it's very creative, you know, it's very cool. It's a way to get my creativity out, but I don't have to worry about knowing how to draw to do it. Okay, so I'm ending this. I did a loop finish, and now I came up a few stitches over, and I'm going to go directly under an X. And then I just kind of pull it back down. And I just, since I haven't finished anything on here before, I'm going to grab a second needle real quick and make sure that it's not going to come unstitched real easy. Yep. Nope, I can't pick it out. Very easy. So, perfect. Hello, Aries. I got an Aries walking up here. What you doing, baby? Oh. Is that what you're doing? Huh? You're a silly butt. I'm going to move the camera so you can see what Aries just did. If you have a problem with cameras moving, give me just a second here. we have an Aries. Alright, I'm moving everything back. Sorry, let me see if I can get this back into... Yeah, but I got an Aries laying behind my work. She likes to do that sometimes. I don't know what it is. She just likes to lay on my desk right in front of my keyboard and behind my frame. And she'll lay there for a few minutes and then normally she goes away. The longest I've seen her there for is probably about 15 minutes. But luckily she doesn't try to attack my threads. She doesn't try to attack my work. Normally. I've seen her chewing on threads. Like they like bobbins. If they find one of my old bobbins, because I don't use them very much anymore, I have run across quite a few bobbins that have been unraveled from thread. They just like throwing the thread around. They don't really chew on it or anything like that. They just like to unravel the bobbin. So, alright, so we are going to go here. And this time I'm not doing a loop start. I am doing more of a waist thread, because with this being a straight line, it's just basically can easily stitch over the thread. There we go. Sorry, Aries. I bumped her in the head. She looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, don't do that. Yeah, Aries is a sweetie. I will say though, like anytime 90% of the time when you go to pet her, she actually kind of turns around and puts her teeth on you. She doesn't really bite or hurt you, but she does like putting her teeth on you. Kind of aggressive affection, I guess. I don't know. Oh, there she goes. She probably doesn't stay there very long because she doesn't, with my hand moving. Probably if I didn't stitch and she was just left to her own devices, she would probably sleep there for a little bit. But okay, so I've got one last subject that I have saved to talk about. It's a family thing. I waited till towards the end of the video, so if you're really not interested, more than, I totally understand if you want to turn off the video. But this is about my Uncle Jeff. I've mentioned a few times, I know at least one time I mentioned his health has not been very good. He had a stroke a few months back. He was recovering from that, and then he got an infection in his foot. Sepsis is what the infection. They were afraid they were going to have to amputate his foot, or amputate a few of his toes. But they were able to just clean out the wound, the infection area. They didn't have to amputate anything. And truthfully, his foot is healing fine. Just after the surgery, when they cleaned out the infection, he started having issues breathing. So he got, they put him back in ICU to see what was going on. I don't know if I've talked with you since I've found out exactly what was going on, but he got diagnosed with double pneumonia. And he's been on a breathing machine for a little while now. We had a bit of a scare yesterday, or was it yesterday? Might have been Friday. Because he ended up, like, he'd been struggling. He had a good morning and a rough night, and then he'd have a good day and then a rough day. Because some days were better than others. Some days he'd wake up and he'd be very confused. He's been talking about the fact that he would tell Aunt Susan and my cousins that, you know, he's been talking with Grandma, his mom, who passed away in 2021. On his really bad days, he talks about going up to see God. But what happened is he called in the doctors and signed a DNR, a do not resuscitate, type thing. And then basically it set up an easy, I don't know the terms of it. Basically, if he recovers, great. But if something happens to his heart and it stops beating, they're not going, they won't do anything to revive it, type thing. They put him on morphine, but we did find out the main reason why he got put on a very low dose of morphine is because my uncle has Crohn's disease. I don't know a whole lot about Crohn's, but my mom says that it's very painful when it starts acting up. So they put him on the morphine to help be able to manage the pain from the Crohn's, since he's, hospitalized at the moment. So, yeah, he's had good days. He has bad days. Truthfully, we're still up in the air. We're not sure exactly what's going on, if he's going to recover. Because my Uncle Jeff is a very big man. Many of times he's come over to visit, and he has a breather, like an oxygen machine, just to help give him a little extra air. He's got Crohn's disease, he's got diabetes, he's got low blood pressure. I think there's other issues as well. I don't know for sure. Unfortunately, I wasn't raised around my uncle. I wasn't raised around my grandparents either. We were states away 90% of my life. It wasn't until I moved up here in 2016 so that I could be near my grandparents that I started actually getting to know anything about this side of my family. I mean, we'd talk to them, we'd call them, but it's a whole different story of actually being able to come and meet and hang out with them. Heck, when we moved up here in 2016, it had been 17 years since I had seen my grandparents and my uncles. I still have yet to see my Uncle Jem. Last time I met my Uncle Jem in person, I was 8 years old. So about 30 years ago. But he lives in, I believe it's Nebraska, I think. I'm not 100% sure what state he lives in. I know they live a few states away. So, yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, with my uncle, we're just kind of in limbo, waiting and seeing. We'll see how he goes. We've got, oops, I'm glad I looked. No, yeah, that one I do. Yeah, we're still hoping that he makes a full recovery. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping to get my living room back into order because I want to start making some bags again. Alright. I really want to get into making some bags. But the living room, like where I set up my table so that I can cut and sew, just isn't set up at all. Oh. It's now 80 degrees. And that's what the temperature says. My watch is saying that it is outside. So I really have no clue what the temperature is in here. I've tried buying thermometers for the house, and I don't know why, but every one I have ever bought, they don't work at all. It's like they stay set at 70 degrees and they don't go anywhere. But I don't also spend a whole lot of money on them either. So hopefully we can get the maintenance people out to fix the AC so that we can lower the temperature. Plus, being upstairs in the townhome, the vents up here have never been the greatest. Mark that. So I got in 113 stitches in about 47 minutes, so that's not too bad. And I am really liking the black and white contrast so far. I did get a notification saying that my package has landed, but they're waiting, like, with it coming from Australia, that, you know, it's like if it's got to go through customs and whatnot, once it gets done there, then they will put it on a local carrier and ship. So maybe next week, fingers crossed. Like I said, if I do get it, I'll probably go look at some more samplers and get ready to start a new one because I really want to use variegated thread, and I do really want to try out silks. I'm really enjoying this. Like, they sent me, Kaylee Crossstitch sent me these. It's Invisifil, that sewing thread. It's really cool. Works really well for the 56 count. But I really want to see how silk works. Now, I will say it's not something I would buy a lot of. It's not something that I would buy often. But it is kind of cool to be able to change up the types of threads you're using, in my opinion. Okay, so it is now 12 o'clock. It's about 50 minutes since I started. Give or take. It's like 49 minutes and some change. But I'm gonna go ahead and go. And put that there. I am gotta get ready. We gotta make some lunch before we leave. To game day. And the sleeping thing behind me sounds like he might possibly actually wake up when I try to wake him up at 10. As soon as I get off here. Maybe. Alright. So that is the end of me. I hope everybody had a great day. I hope you had some good stitching time if you were able to stitch with me. If you weren't able to stitch with me, I hope you enjoyed my chatter. I tried to basically just try to make sure I stayed talking. I would just talk about anything and everything. If you ever like have a subject you want me to talk about, feel free to put it in the comments. As long as it's not a controversy subject or something I don't feel comfortable talking about, I have no problem having conversations, talking about things I like. My biggest problem is when I don't have somebody to bounce back conversations with, I tend to not really know what to talk about. So that's why I've taken people's advice and started making notes going, hey, this, we can talk about this week, we can talk about that this week, we can talk about this. I may have another new start. I think I'm gonna start trying to gather up the threads so that I can start the this one. It's showing in the bottom down there. So I want to start this one as well soon. But I gotta go and build up. Whoops. Let's just get rid of that. Where is it? There we go. Yes, I was watching Happy Feet. Alrighty, everybody. I hope everybody had a great day, has a great day, a great weekend, and I will see everybody next week. Bye.